and welcome everyone. This is actually going to be a very quick overview, well, hopefully a quick overview of the base build out and the reasons why I say what I do to other builders. So some of you have asked, well, you say so much about what other people are building, so show us your work, jackass. Well, okay, I'll show you my jackass work. So the current base that I'm working on started out as a mine shaft with 64 TNT straight down. What I was going to actually do with this was to turn it into a brass trap for the zombies, basically generate a horde and a constant horde call, playing with the new heat map features. Down at the base there you'll see a pad of dirt. 2 floors below that is actually the crafting area. So the idea was that the heat map would increase from basically keeping the forges and campfires going constantly, so that as zombies would spawn and the hordes would spawn, they'd come over, take a little bit of damage, and walk down the hole. And we found out the hard way that once you put down concrete or any other structure, these zombies stop walking into holes. If anybody has any way to actually prove that wrong, please show me how, because I would love to be able to do that again. But yeah, it seems like once you've started building, the zombies understand that that is probably a trap and won't go in. The recent addition to this whole base is the above ground secure farm area. Basically, those spikes get me every time. So basically what I've done is following what I think everybody is doing at this point with the long spike tops, is building out the perimeters, trying to secure your building a little bit. Another common thing is the spike pit trap. This is usually a double. In this case, I only did a single because it's just there to be cool. Inside the farm, was able to show that yes, the metal trussing does allow sunlight to come through, so you can actually build indoor farms as long as you keep the sky open through the trussing. Just in case I ever need a panic room, we have actually local crafting here and storage, with the ability to, or an expansion area for an additional. Back up. Come on. Sorry, there's a reason my name is the Eternal Mood, okay? So coming back.
Oh!
And we have proven once again, yes, the spikes do work. So, looking out across the river there, that's actually, that guard tower is part of the base, and we'll be walking through the connecting tunnel as part of this process. So coming in here, expect to see a lot of doors and hatches. I like them a lot. So, on the topic of base defense, what I've done is all of the areas that you can potentially assault, because this is an open server, public join, anyone can come in. The server admins enforce a PvE status, and unfortunately that does not always happen, because the admin just can't be everywhere all the time. So what this is set up to do is that if somebody is trying to gain access by destroying the spikes above or tunneling in through the side, myself or any of my friends and allies on the server that are potentially here have the ability to be doing running repairs as things blow up. To give you an idea, yes, that is a full 64 cube depth. There's a couple of floors down below us, and we'll take a look at those in a minute. We will speed up through here. Oh, copyright. Let's avoid that song. So, as you can see, a couple of floors below me is the dirt pad. This is my emergency farm. Usually I have either corn or potatoes growing in there, sometimes goldenrod. So it just depends on what I'm doing and what I need to be doing. So eventually this will be closed off. So the only way to get back down, to actually get down, will be through the stair shaft. Once you get down into this area, may see the expansion area through here. Again, it's just another method of defense in case I ever do doors or training zombies. This is actually going to be my underground secure farm. The same process I used to dig that original mine shaft will be used to open up the ceiling the length of this room. Currently at about 150, 160 TNT collected, and I build more pretty much daily. Later this week, I'm planning on finishing drilling down the pilot holes for the TNT placement, which do go all the way to the surface. Then I'll detonate it and open this thing up. Eventually I'll have a system very similar to what you see in the original mine. Moving down to the Great Room. Very Mines of Moria over here. This is the large room, the Great Room I guess, under the farm area. This will be an expanded crafting and health station area. Basically, if there is ever an assault on this from external, this will be probably where a large violence occurs. Going through the access tunnels to the unfinished expansion portion. This is where I've been mining most of my iron and other resources to build the sentry. So right here, for those who notice, yes, I do have a splinter foot. I was filming this earlier and my video decided to cut out, and during that process I fell from the top of the tower down to that hatch I just walked through. Let's just say it's not unusual. So coming into the tower, this is actually concrete all the way down, reinforced concrete all the way down to that first hatch, or at least on one side. On the other three sides, it's concrete several tiles into the stone layer of the river location. So from here, if we ever need to, we're able to defend the farm, we're able to defend the entrance to some point. We can actually defend from the farm as well, and we have visibility, as you can see, into the neighboring biome, and from the major points where the zombie hordes will come in and assault from. Generally, on this server, at this location in this biome, the zombie hordes generally spawn from this area and head west, but that is not always true. We do sometimes get them from the north heading south, but the vast majority of them are east traveling west. Not sure if that's true in all servers, if it's just this server, or just because of where I happen to be located with this particular build. But I've seen that in other biomes on this server, it does seem that the zombies tend to start in the east and head west. So, heading back in, we'll pause the video here, I'll butt back in and sit and spare you my horrible, horrible voice. See you soon. And we're back. As you can see, we're back in the Great Room. There are a lot of doors. I believe in keeping things as secure as possible, especially on open public servers, because, like I said, the admins are great. However, it's not always possible for them to be online, and because we're in different time zones, there's always the potential for things to be destroyed by the folks that are using the hacks and cheats. It is an unfortunate reality of online gaming, but by the same token, you kind of know what you're in for when you're playing on games like this. So, what we have is this is going to be one of the access hallways. This inner wall here is actually backing my primary crafting location. So again, it allows me to repair if it's breached from above and people are trying to get into the rest of the base, or if the exterior perimeter is breached. It allows me to repair from inside. Both of these will be expansion hallways. This will be an access to the eastern farm area, which will be a duplication of the one you saw earlier, which is currently on the south side of my base. Random storage. A unfinished basement bedroom. it will eventually be built out into a larger storage area. This will probably be the primary storage location once it's complete. But I've got enough storage for now that I can get by. I don't really. So the primary crafting area, this is centered directly under the mine shaft. When I cleared it out, this was the first place that I built. And again, the idea was to have the roof above, and I was going to cover it with spikes. But I found that once I had built the concrete rim on the shaft, the zombies wouldn't walk through it. Tried putting ramps on it, tried putting spikes around it, tried actually jumping over the corners and everything else that I could do to try and bait them out. And they would hit it and walk around. So I'm guessing that there has been logic implemented that not only do they identify that as a human-built structure, a player-built structure, but that there is a very large hole under it, so they will avoid it. I plan on doing some experimentation a little bit later to see if I can confirm or deny that a little bit more readily. However, for the time being, the big project is actually building this out, and as time goes on, I'll probably be updating this about once a week or so to show you where I'm at in the process. I think that it's a lot of fun to build this. It's definitely a challenge at points because I continually run into not only my own lack of skill, but the game does have some very interesting limits on the mechanics as far as like the 16 cube shafts when you're building straight horizontal lines. If it's unsupported, you can get trussing up to 16. With 17, it collapses. For concrete, you can get it up to about 6 before it collapses. Usually, you still run into 16 cube limits when you're building in like a 4x4. The piece will tend to collapse as well unless you add additional support. Other than that, that is pretty much the current base. I do have 2 other bases on this server that I will be doing a follow-up on as well. This is really just a sample of what's going on, experimenting with the new mic, and just showing how much I actually ramble while recording. So you'll probably get a little bit more of a scripted scenario next time, but for now this is what it is, this is my voice, and I hope everyone has a great day. For those who play 7 Days, keep safe, and for those who don't, see you next time.